So I'm in a bathroom. We're still on a family trip, so I'm practicing in strange places whenever I get the time. Kids are in bed, tonight's the bathroom. Same run today, but I'm way more tired. Second day in a row. Still not a runner. Because they're gonna take a different mode of transportation.
Oh.
You're in my heart, so until then, it's time for saying goodbye.
That is a long French fry. Take a video.
Yeah, but
Gonna eat it?
yeah.
Are you gonna eat that French fry? We even seeing this
Really
thing?
nice people.
Now, if you've been following along with the last few vlogs, I've been working on tunes, practicing tunes. Today, I'm working on tone exclusively. So I'm just gonna spend maybe a half an hour where I'm just playing long tones. Long tones is one of those things that everybody talks about. Every teacher that teaches woodwinds talks about long tones. Every band director, every school, every book. And yet there's still a lot of mystery around them, at least from my experience. I get a lot of questions about long tones, and I understand. So I thought I would go through a couple of things that I'm thinking about when I'm playing long tones. First of all, I like to pick a note that's relatively easy and maybe one other that's more difficult. So in this case, I'm going to do a low G and a low C on the soprano. The low C obviously being the more difficult one because it's going to require more air. And I like to start with the easier one and just develop the best tone I can, get the best sound I can from that one note, and that's sort of my anchor. And then everything else I pivot to, any other note, I'm trying to make those other notes sound as good as that first note. There's a few things I'm thinking about as I'm doing this. Number one is embouchure, and I wouldn't say that I'm experimenting, but as I play the note, I'm definitely, moving muscles a little bit. You'll see sometimes I'm puffing my cheeks a little bit, sometimes not. What I'm doing is just searching for the sweet spot of the tone. Every note has a sweet spot, and I'm just looking for that. Then I want to support that note with a lot of diaphragmatic abdominal support. Good, strong breath that goes down into my stomach, for lack of a better term. So this is going to be a little graphic, and I apologize, but I'm hoping that it's helpful. Here's what my stomach looks like while I'm playing long tones. So what you notice is I take a big breath, like a big breath into my belly, and then I'm squeezing those abdominal muscles as I sustain those notes. So to keep the pitch where I want it and to keep the air supply going, I'm really pressing with those muscles. They're really engaged. The other thing I'm doing is I'm thinking a lot about my entire body, or at least my hands and arms and fingers and forearms while I'm playing these notes. So I'm not just sustaining the note, I'm thinking about how do my fingertips feel as they're on the palms, on the pearls of the saxophone. Where's my thumb? How are my forearms feeling? Is anything feeling tense? One thing I'll do is continually shake out my hands, especially when playing soprano, and especially that right hand. I'll shake that out and just kind of get my wrist or my wrists loosened up and then go right back to it. That's really important. You don't want to get repetitive stress injuries or carpal tunnel or anything like that. Somebody asked in the comments about why I'm using a straight neck soprano versus a curved neck. And they do produce different sounds. There is like a warmer, slightly smoother sound to the curved neck, and it is a little bit easier on your wrist, that's true. And I've alternated over the years. I just prefer the tone quality that I get with the straight neck for whatever reason to the one that I get with the curved. So that's what I use. And finally, I like to keep a metronome going while I'm playing long tones. This helps me kill two birds with one stone. While I'm focusing on that tone quality, I'm also subdividing in my head. So the metronome might be clicking, and I'm going 1 and 2 and 3 and in my head, or 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E, or triplet, 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 something like that. You know, I'm thinking about rhythm while I'm sustaining these long notes. So don't be afraid to love every note on your horn. The more you focus on the way you feel physically as you play every sound that your instrument can produce, the stronger player you're going to be overall. Years ago, I came up with this little cheat sheet that kind of represents the things that are most important to me as a musician that I want to work on when I'm practicing. And I call them my 7 T's. And the very first T, the number one thing, is tone. Because if your tone is not great, what else matters? Really nothing, right? Your tone's got to be great. You got to start with there. So if this is worth anything, you have my full permission to spend a lot of time with one note at a time.